Identifying pine tree diseases by pictures. Have you ever noticed something unusual about a pine tree while camping or hiking? Understanding how to identify pine tree diseases by their visual signs is important for maintaining healthy forests. Pine trees can be affected by various diseases, each showing unique symptoms on needles, branches, trunks, or cones. Let's take a closer look at some common pine tree diseases and how you can spot them. First up is rust diseases, like fusiform rust. This disease often shows orange or yellowish pustules or blisters on needles, stems, and cones. You might see purplish spots on the stems that develop into spindle-shaped galls. These galls can grow larger over time, leading to branch dieback or even stem breakage. If you notice swollen galls on branches or orange structures on the pine tissue, that is a clear visual cue. Next, we have Diplodia Tip Blight. This disease causes the tips of shoots and needles to brown and die. Look for needles that turn brown starting at the tips, along with resin-soaked cones and needles. You can often find small black dots, which are fungal fruiting bodies on the affected areas. If you see dead shoot tips with these black dots, you know what to look for. Another disease to be aware of is pine wilt disease. This one can be alarming because it causes rapid wilting and browning of needles. You may notice that the needles suddenly turn brown and wilt, sometimes with resin flowing from affected areas. The culprit here is the pinewood nematode, which is spread by pine sawyer beetles. Sudden needle discoloration is a key sign of this disease. Pitch canker is another disease that can affect pine trees. It appears as cankers on branches, trunks, or cones with resin oozing out. You might observe branch dieback and resin-soaked areas. Sticky, resinous cankers on branches or trunk areas are visual cues to watch for. Needle blight and needle cast diseases can also be a concern. These diseases cause needles to discolor to yellow, brown, or gray, and they may drop prematurely. Look for lesions or spots on the needles, sometimes with tiny black dots visible. Browning or yellowing needles with these fungal structures are signs of trouble. In addition to these specific diseases, keep an eye out for other signs. Mushroom growth around the base of the tree may indicate root rot or fungal infection. Sawdust or holes in the bark can signal insect pests that might introduce or worsen diseases. If you see mass needle discoloration, such as turning gray, yellow, or brown, it's time to investigate further. For park and campground managers, early identification of these diseases is essential. It helps protect pine populations and keeps recreational areas safe and beautiful. Management actions may include pruning and destroying infected branches, applying fungicides or insecticides when needed, and removing severely infected trees to prevent disease spread. Using a hand lens or magnifying glass can help you spot small fungal fruiting bodies or lesions that are hard to see with the naked. If you are ever unsure, consulting with a tree care professional can help assess the situation and determine the best course of action. By knowing how to visually identify these pine tree diseases, you can play a part in protecting these majestic trees and the ecosystems they support. So next time you are out in nature, keep an eye out for those signs and help keep our forests healthy.